great with me. Woo! Good morning, ladies. So grab your notebooks, your glasses, your pens, whatever school supplies you like to use or remind you of school, because it's time for Makeup 101. I know I took 2 weeks off, but you know, I had to gather some evidence and do further research, and who am I kidding? I totally forgot. So this Makeup 101, if you can't tell by the title already, is about brush care. And after I posted my Makeup 101 on the brushes that you need or should have, a lot of you said, okay, but how do I clean them? Please help. So this video is all about brush care. Brush care that has worked for me personally with the brushes that I own and with my experience and how often I use brushes. So basically cleaning your brushes, I can't concentrate because I know my chihuahua is about to start barking like crazy right now. Basically, cleaning your brushes is not an option. You have to do it. If you don't do it, you shorten the life of your brushes, you're prone to breakouts, you're mixing colors. So just all in all, there is no good thing about not washing your brushes. Brush care is really important. Deep washing, obviously, but day-to-day cleaning is also very important. So you don't want to suffer from breakouts, you don't want to mix colors, and I think the more you take care of them or wash them or keep them sanitary, the longer they live, or the less they shed, the more problems they will cause you. So if you want to know how to maintain your brushes on a daily basis and how to deep wash them, please keep watching. Okay, so let's talk about brush cleaning. There are two kinds of brush cleaning. The most important, I think, is your daily brush cleaning. After you use your brushes, you have to clean them every single day. Deep washing them is also important, but you can't wash a brush every single day because obviously it takes several hours to dry, if not a whole day. So I clean my brushes after every use, if not after every other use. And then I deep clean them or deep scrub or wash or whatever you want to call it about maybe every week and a half. I never let it get past 2 weeks. That's too much. And then you start to notice you get blemishes and things. So what I have here are my essentials. The very first thing is a brush cleaner. This is the Sephora brand. Every time I run out, I go out and I get the same exact one. I've had really good luck with it. I don't get any breakouts or anything. I think it does a really good job. Some of my subscribers have recommended the Japanese one from Ulta. I saw it, but it smells kind of like citrus, and I didn't like that for my brushes. But I'm pretty sure you can find a DIY recipe with some kind of diluted alcohol solution and maybe some essential oils to do your own at home in a spray bottle. My other essential is a roll of paper towels, and I keep these in my vanity or desk, and I like to buy the Selecta size. That's the one that comes with the half size paper towels, because when I go to clean them, I keep a stack of paper towels ready to go in one of my drawers with my spray cleaner too. So when I go to clean my brushes on a daily basis, I fold my paper towel, and I don't know where I got this from. I just came up with this method. I fold it in 4 so that when I spray the cleaner on here, I just need to spray once. And I don't spray it directly on my brushes. I know a lot of makeup artists do that. I don't know why I don't. I feel more comfortable doing this way. So I would say like a good 8 to 10 sprays on my paper towel folded in 4s. So basically the cleaner goes through all of the layers. And then I'll take my brush and I'll swirl it on the paper towel. And then when I notice that this side of the paper towel is getting kind of gross or yucky, I'll flip it and then I'll use a new one of the sections. And I'll keep going. Sometimes it only takes 1. Other times it takes 2, 3, 4, however many sections I need to use up to clean my brush. And I do it in circular motions. I'm left-handed, so I go counterclockwise, but most of you would probably do it this way. And there you go, a clean brush. These are the 217s from MAC. So because it has white bristles, it is a stained brush, but as you can see, there's no more color left on it. And that's what you want to achieve. And then I just put it back in my brush holder because it's not soaking wet. For the second method of brush cleaning, or the deep cleanse method, I use my facial cleanser, which is my Philosophy Purity Made Simple. I use this cleanser because it is hydrating on my skin. It doesn't feel like it dries out my skin. Therefore, when I wash my brushes, it doesn't leave them feeling brittle or dried out. I know a lot of girls wash their makeup brushes with like Dawn or Palmolive, but then they have to mix in some olive oil, or they make their own little mixture. I don't like to do that. I don't feel comfortable putting oil on my brushes. So when I use this hydrating or moisturizing or whatever facial cleanser that I use personally on my face, I feel very comfortable using it on my tools. So you'll need a cleanser, you need dirty brushes, your dirty sponges, and a rolled up towel. And you guys don't laugh at my towel. This is basically one of the towels that we use to shower with, but I roll it up and then I kind of push on it so that it's like a ramp. When you wash your brushes, you're not supposed to hang them upside down, and you're also not supposed to put them back in your container while they're wet. So basically, the only way you're supposed to wash your brushes is laying flat. But I feel that when I wash my brushes, if I lay them completely flat, they take way too long to dry. So when I put them like this, they are still flat, but it's forcing the water to come out faster, and they dry so much quicker. There are brush trees that they sell to dry your brushes or to store your brushes, but everything that I read and research that I've done indicates that when you store your brushes upside down, if you're not using the best quality brushes, if any of the water has gotten up into the ferrule of the brush where the glue is, and they're not the best quality brushes, when you store it like this, if you moisten the glue, it makes your brush easier to lose its bristles. So basically the weight of the water and the softening of the glue kind of pushes or pulls down on it, and you'll start to shed a lot sooner than you should. And I just know that that would happen, or is more likely to happen, with lower end brushes, but I don't want to poke the bear. I don't want to risk it. So I'll just keep washing my brushes and storing them on an angle on my fancy rolled up towel. Okay, so first things first, you set up your station. This is something that I learned when I was in culinary school. For those of you that don't know, yes, I am a chef. And when I was in culinary school, they taught us a French expression called mise en place, and that means everything in its place. You kind of set up things like a factory lineup or a conveyor belt system where everything that you need is reachable, everything is in order, and you basically have everything at arm's reach and it's organized. It makes it a lot faster, a lot more efficient, and probably in this case, like in the food industry, a lot more sanitary. So I set up my station, I make sure I have my soap ready to go. I run the hot water until it comes out hot. I prefer to wash my brushes in hot water, but I don't know if that's the right or the wrong way, but I just feel like the hotter the water, the more bacteria I murder, and that's always a plus. Then I group my brushes into 3 categories. I do the miniature brushes, which are usually the other brushes, like highlighter, contour brushes that I use, and then the biggest, fattest, heaviest, thickest, longest time to dry brushes and sponge up at the top. Those are usually the ones I wash first because they're the dirtiest and because they take the longest time to dry. So if I can give them a head start, I'm all for it. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to run the hot water, and then we'll wet our brush and apply a bit of soap to the palm of our hand. So I wet my brush, I put some soap in the palm of my hand, and now I'm going to swirl. I always like to turn off the faucet because I don't like to waste water if I'm not using it. Especially here in Dallas, we're like on stage 300 drought or whatever. And so if we can help out, every little bit helps. So I swirl it in my hand until I get all the soap, and then I squeeze all the gunk out. Turn the water back on, and then I keep swirling until no more color comes out. If I notice that there's still a lot of color, I'll add more soap and then I'll swirl again. I never wash more than twice. So you kind of swirl and then squeeze, swirl and squeeze. I don't notice any more color coming out, but because this is my all over face brush, I want to be extra sure because I don't want to get any of those blemishes or unwanted marks on my face. Because this is the second time around, I'm not going to scrub so long. So swirl and squeeze, but don't pull down, just squeeze. And you want to avoid getting any water up into the ferrule of the brush. Continue doing this until all the suds or soap or any kind of soapy residue is noticeable. And once you're done, just give it one last really good squeeze and put it on your landing zone. So you put your brushes over here, you start lining them up, and you'll notice it's kind of like on a downhill, but it's still pretty flat. So any water that may have gotten up to the top of the brush or into the ferrule where the glue is coming out as quickly as possible, but it is still laying flat. So there's not too much weight on the tip of the brush. Show you guys how to wash the mini air buki. I was really nervous to wash this the first time because the bristles are really short. So even if I try my best not to get water inside, it's really difficult. So I just took to washing him exactly the same way like I wash my other brushes, except I try to do it as quickly as possible and with as little product as I can. Because you'll notice when I put water on it like this, it's basically impossible not to get it up to the top. But you'll notice how incredibly filthy it is because it is a buffing brush. So I rub and squeeze as much as I can, and I notice that it's very difficult to get zero color out of it. It's a really hard brush to wash. And I know I'm probably not doing the right thing, but when I dry this brush, I actually stand it up like this to dry. So once I'm sure there's absolutely no more soap left in here, I give it a good squeeze without pulling at the bristles, and then I stand it up to dry like this. I know this is terrible, but I'll leave it like this for maybe 3 hours to make sure all the water comes down, and then I'll lay it on its side. How to wash funny shaped brushes like the Nars Ita brush or the EcoTools fan brush. The exact same way. And the cool thing about these is that their funny shape allows for them to be washed more often or to dry even faster. It's the same exact step. You just want to be careful to keep the integrity of the shape of the bristles. This Nars brush has a lot of dye in it. It is a dyed brush, which means it's like painted black. So you will have some color that comes out of it. That's okay. Just make sure the water that comes out is the color of your bronzer with a little bit of that darkness. If you're still getting color coming out, but it's not the color of your bronzer, you know that it's good and clean. Always check too for no more suds or soap. Here's the fan brush. The fan brush is thick and heavy, but it dries pretty fast, which is also a plus. And it's really important to wash your highlighter brushes because you get a lot of like hooker shimmer buildup in there. You want to make sure that you wash that out really good. They may not look dirty because shimmer is always a really light color, or highlighting powders are really a light color. I have hooker shimmer in my mind. But you always want to make sure you wash them really, really well, even though the color is light and you may not think it's dirty. Also, because of the place where you use this brush, those are all delicate places of the face. The top of your lip, the top of your cheekbones, the tip of your chin. And so you don't want to get any breakouts there because that's the area of your face that hurts the most. So like I told you, roll up a towel, super simple. Put them a little bit on a slope, but not so much. You'll know if it's too much of a slope because your brushes will slide down. You still want them to be flat, but a little bit on the slope so that water drains off of the brush and they dry faster. I kind of like to section them off like this, where you see all the little brushes in one place, the medium, and then the bigger ones. So as soon as they're dry, I can go and put them away. I like to do things quickly and organized like that because I do have a toddler, and you know from watching my videos that Tater goes bananas for makeup brushes and the beauty blender. So as soon as those suckers are done, I put them away fast. Also, you don't need to go spend $22 on this cleanser. You could use baby shampoo. I used baby shampoo for years before I even discovered the purity cleanser, and it worked fine for me. The only reason I use this is because it's available to me. It's the same thing I use on my face, and I just like to be consistent. It smells clean, it does a good job, it keeps the bristles nice and hydrated. So I have really good luck with it. I really hope that this Makeup 101 on makeup cleaning was very easy to understand. And I'll see you in just a bit. And that's how you wash your brushes. Isn't that simple? It's very important to remember, after you use your brushes, you always want to sanitize them with a brush cleaner on the daily. Like on the daily, you want to clean them on the daily. After that, depends how often you use them, but since I do my makeup, I would say 4 to 5 times a week. I wash them about every week and a half. And like I said, you guys can use baby shampoo, you could use dish soap. There are so many ways you can wash, or so many things you could use to wash your brushes. I personally like the Dr. Bronners hard, like bar soap for my beauty blender, and then the Philosophy Purity Made Simple that I use on my face, also for my brushes. So I don't know, that's just what's worked for me. I really hope you learned something. I really hope it gave you the confidence to be able to wash your brushes on your own. Remember to maintain that care of your brushes. Also, the way you store them is really important. Like you guys have seen in my videos before, I just keep them in empty candle jars with vase filler that I got at Michael's for like $2 or something. And it just keeps them displayed nicely. I use them so often that they don't collect dust or anything, and I wash them so often that they don't collect dust. So don't keep them airtight or anything like that because you will, grow mold. And oh, the last thing, you guys like my hair? I've been trying out these fabulous extensions. Let me know what you guys think. I'll link the information down below in case you're curious about them. And I think that's it. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys,